Good catch.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah.
I guess Craig's been really sick.
Oh, really? How? Really, really sick, or?
He's been out of work for like 6 months.
Really?
He's I think it had something to do with second round of the COVID shots. Did something to his immune system. They're doing some crazy stuff with IVs, like
Yeah.
cleansing his blood or flipping it. Yeah, it's crazy.
You in contact with him on any social media?
I speaking, Mitch told me, because Mitch
Yeah.
came home
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and I had him in the station, and he was going over some MMJ stuff. And then we were just talking about Craig, and he was like, oh, he hasn't been to work. I was like, what? So I texted Craig, and he gave me the whole number.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tell him I said I'll pray for him.
Okay.
Wow.
Hi, Oriole. I think we got everybody. Look at that door back there. Catch us. Yes, just in case. Perfect. Good afternoon, everybody. Before we start, I would just like to ask a favor, and this comes directly from the family. We spoke with them earlier this afternoon. They just want some privacy. I know there have been maybe some media vans parked on Ashley Drive. It's kind of upsetting to them. They've been through a lot, so just please respect their privacy. Thank you, and I know you will. I'll introduce some people. Major Sam Spezio, Troop Commander for New York State Police, Troop H, Special Investigations Unit. I'll have him come up later, and he can discuss some of the efforts leading to the arrest that I'm about to announce. Major Surte, Troop Commander for New York State Police, Troop E, Monroe County Assistant District Attorney and Chief of the Special Victims Unit, Sarah Van Strydock. She can speak to the elements of the crime that we charged. I just want to speak just briefly about the timeline of the events. As you know, a 14-year-old child was reported missing to the Brighton Police Department at 3:54 a.m. on March 25th. She was located approximately 17 and a half hours after she was initially reported missing to us. She was located at 2507 Trapman Avenue in the Bronx by members of the New York City Police Department. Yesterday, on March 27th, at about 11:20 a.m., Serdar Osman, 40 years of age, who resides at 5407 Kings Highway, Brooklyn, New York, was taken into custody by members of the United States Marshals, New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force at an address in Queens, New York. He has been charged with one count of kidnapping in the first degree, which is a Class A1 felony. We'll provide to you from the court the criminal information that he was charged with. The defendant was arraigned early this morning by Brighton Town Judge John Falk and remanded to the custody of the sheriff and is currently being held at the Monroe County Jail without bail. An order of protection was also issued for the victim. Major Spezio.
Good afternoon, Major Sam Spezio, New York State Police Detail Commander for Special Investigations Unit. Just want to touch base real quick. We're not going to go over specific tactics and specific measures that my team operate with that would be not appropriate for court purposes and to the victim and the victim's family. But I will say this, anytime you have a collaboration as such from the Brighton Police Department, the state police up here in Troop E, state police in New York City, BCI, Bureau of Criminal Investigations, Violent Felony Warrant Squad, down in New York City. The NYPD, and of course, my team, the Special Investigations Unit, that collaboration is why we were successful in this operation. It ultimately resulted in a recovery that was successful. A 14-year-old who's now back home with her family. While I won't get into specific tactics, I can tell you this. When you marry the intelligence that goes into an investigation with field work in the field, members in the field, that's when you get an ultimate success. And the tactics that went into locating this individual and putting him into custody is an absolute win in this circumstance. So thank you for the collaboration, Chief. Thank you for allowing us to be involved with this. And at that point, I'll leave the rest of this communication to the attorneys.
Sarah, if you'd like to say a few words and maybe I'll have ADA Sarah Van Stradon come up. She can maybe speak to the elements of the charges and what exactly a kidnapping in the first degree is. Sarah.
I don't have much to say. I'd be happy to answer questions here. This defendant is charged with one count of kidnapping in the first degree. As the chief said, it is a Class A felony here. The maximum penalty or the penalty range would be 15 to life all the way up to 25 to life. And again, that's what he's currently charged with. Obviously, a grand jury investigation will be started and that could change.
We'll open up to questions.
Chief, according to the Monroe County Jail census, it looks like this defendant is being held by United States Immigration. Is that, do you know why he's being held on an immigration detainer?
No, I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that information.
Okay.
That may be a question to for the jail, but I'm not aware of that.
How do you know it's this guy?
As I said yesterday in the press conference, we identified early on, as I said, it's no secret about a cell phone. We knew that the victim in this case was speaking to a cell phone. We then were able to get subscriber information for the cell phone. And again, we don't want to go into tactics, but as the major was saying, we had a lot of resources with his group, a lot of resources with the NYPD. I'm sure there were surveillance issues going on. And that's how we came up with who he was.
Was he in contact with the child through social media or messaging or how?
I will just say generally, and I'll say social media in generally, but there was also some text communication, I believe. And we will give you a redacted version of the felony complaint with the correct spelling of the defendant and everything.
Can you comment on the nature of the text messages at all, or any of the communications that led up to this?
No, I wouldn't do that. I think that's all going to lead into some evidentiary issues, and I don't think you'd want to comment on it either, would you? There might be a learning point here. If you want to talk about it.
I think the elements of kidnapping in the first degree will speak for themselves. I think that the takeaway message here for this case, which honestly, if you think about it, and I've stood at a podium like this before under different circumstances, the outcome was amazing. The fact that this child was safe and getting the medical care that she needed within 24 hours of her disappearance, hundreds of miles from home, is a testament to the law enforcement individuals who didn't get an ounce of sleep. I can promise you that. But what it needs to tell you, all of you in this room, everybody in this county, and anybody else that's listening, is you need and you have a responsibility when you have kids you care about and you love, that you need to have these important conversations with them about social media, about the internet in general, and not even social media, anything. People are out there and they try to hurt kids. And unfortunately, we see it every day. And you can put your head on the pillow and pretend it doesn't happen, but it does. And this is a perfect example of it. And so the message that you should take away today is, if anything else, we have this wonderful recovery of a child, but have the conversation with your kid tonight. Go into their phone, go into their computer. This doesn't just happen to the people in the town over or the city over. It happens everywhere. And nobody wants to be standing up here again. I don't want to be. That's not what we're here for. But that being said, we have a 14-year-old and their family that need time right now to figure this out, what happened, how it happened, and how they're going to recover. So I'm so grateful for the media message getting out there to find her. But at this time, I know we're still investigating, but we all need to respect their ability to heal and move forward. And I think as more details come out, when a potential indictment comes out, when the charges go forward, you'll understand why I'm asking for that privacy.
Chief, 2 quick questions.
Sure.
Can you tell us how long the communication had been going on between the defendant and the victim? And I think that might help parents understand how quickly it can happen or maybe how long it takes. And did they know each other?
So the answer to your first part, about a week, a couple of weeks at best. I don't think it was long. It was a very short time frame, which goes to your point. It doesn't take long to make that connection. And what was the second question?
Did they know each other, or is this, he find her?
Yeah, I have no knowledge that they had that they knew prior to that communication.
What was his state when he was apprehended by law enforcement?
Major? I don't know. It was taken into custody, like I said, by that regional task force. I can't speak to that. Anything else? The captain will give you a redacted version of the felony complaint with the corrected information. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Chief, you real quick.
Kelly is on call.
Final plan for 4 is that I will front, what's that, right? I'll handle